I'm Jake from JacobTubeHD. Welcome back to the movie I want to talk about. The show that is finally reviewing Christmas movies during a reasonable time of the year. I think the Harold and Kumar Christmas film in April and Christmas Vacation in August has prepared me to review multiple Christmas movies in December a second time. Christmas time is here. It's such a beautiful season. There's pretty lights on people's houses, the same 20 songs are played over and over again, Sprite cranberries are sold, and I get to yell at carolers to get off my porch. It's my favorite time of the year. This time of year also comes with movies constantly on repeat on every TV channel. Lucky for you, I'm here to watch them 20 times in the span of a month instead of you having to endure a 24-hour marathon of A Christmas Story, even though I'm not reviewing that this year. I'm reviewing 3 different Christmas-related things this year in the world of motion pictures. Feels great to downgrade from last year, but at least I'm not concerned for my safety like Halloween. Halloween, I like to feel scared for my life, but during Christmas, I like to feel happy for my life. I had another traumatic, spooky season, so I want a normal, happy season, and I think I can get that this Christmas season. Last year, the Christmas season was chill besides being traumatized by the Home Alone sequels no one talks about, being forced to rhyme by a snow globe, started a war by considering that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and was forced to review Elf by my friend Hayden, which made me learn valuable lessons and was the start to our friendship, despite Hayden torturing me that past Halloween. This year will be completely fine and completely chill, so I'm going to head to a more festive area because this room isn't festive at all. Wow, it looks just like last year and doesn't at the exact same time. At least it's better than sitting in a basement. Plus, this tree has an Oregon Trail ornament, so now my tree can tell me that I died of dysentery like all Christmas trees should. Now that the location I'm in is actually festive, I can tell you about my favorite part of Christmas. It is the presents and gifts I receive from people. It's the one holiday where people have to give you the things you want. It's the best holiday ever and nothing is beating it. Not only do you get gifts from your friends and family, but you also receive gifts from Santa Claus. He's an old fat man that watches children when they sleep and delivers presents to the good kids. It doesn't sound creepy at all when explaining it. He makes elves build all the toys and he delivers all the presents across the whole world in one night. That's cool, but I deserve all the presents from Santa. I've been a good person this year. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I think that work would get me unlimited presents under this tree if they could all fit under there. I'm a proud 19-year-old man who expects Santa Claus to give me everything I asked for. I don't care if I'm too old to believe in him. Santa is real, and I will rip every present out of that fucking sack. I'm a good person, and I want my presents. The North Pole sends a letter to everyone to see if they're on the nice or naughty list, and I received mine. You'd think that you would have to send a letter to the North Pole, but they actually send letters to you. I can't wait to see that I'm on the nice list so I can get everything that I deserve. What? How the fuck am I on the naughty list? What did I do to deserve this, huh? Is it because I committed various so-called crimes throughout the year? Is it because that list is so long that I can't even recount all of them that I committed this year? Is it because I insulted and threatened police on multiple occasions that were documented on the show? Or maybe it's because I called my friend Hayden a ball of terror and made her a symbol of Groundhog's Day where she saw her shadow and we had 6 more weeks of winter. How do all of those things place me on the naughty list? This isn't right. I've been unfairly placed on the naughty list. You know what? I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to become my own Santa Claus and deliver presents to only myself. Everyone else sucks, so why not become my own Santa and give presents to only me? It's genius. I'll start my own North Pole and deliver those presents to just me. It's a perfect plan. I do need to learn how to be Santa Claus if I want to pull this off. I have to convince people that I'm Santa Claus delivering to just one person, which is myself. I do believe that there is a series of films and a TV show I'm not reviewing here that's about teaching Tim Allen how to become Santa Claus. So maybe you could teach me how to be the greatest Santa Claus there ever was. I can't believe I've never thought of this in my 19 years of living. This is the Santa Claus. This film is about Scott Calvin and his son startling Santa, causing him to fall off the roof. Now that Scott made this mistake, he is recruited to be the next Santa as he slowly starts turning into the iconic holiday figure. I want to fully love this first film, but there's a lot that's stopping me from loving it. Tim Allen is fine in this. He delivers a great performance and has some charm, but none of the comedy really sticks out to me. Kids will certainly enjoy every aspect of what Tim Allen does here, but his performance seems average outside of that. The kid that plays Charlie is terrific. He's so sweet in every scene he's in with his belief in Santa. The other side characters are fine, but don't really stand out besides telling Scott he's crazy as his body is adapting to being Santa. The world of the North Pole is so wonderful to look at. The big practical sets and the elves that populate it help immerse you further into this world of the North Pole. It has a very sweet message of just because you don't see something doesn't mean you can't believe in it, which is a message that carries throughout the film. There's even sweet moments where you dive into how adults stopped believing in Santa and the magic of Christmas. Besides that, it's pretty much a fish out of water story of Calvin dealing with the fact that he's turning into Santa, which is a story trope that's tiring to me, but could be completely fine with someone who hasn't seen the fish out of water trope so many times. It's an average start to this trilogy, having brilliant ideas and messages, but telling that through predictable tropes. The Santa Claus gets a 3 to 5 beards that magically grow back right after you shave them. So I learned that in order to become Santa Claus, you need to essentially kill him and steal his jacket. Good to know. Next time I see Santa, I'll kill him for his jacket or steal it from him in whatever way I can. You know what? That second idea is probably better than murder. I'll steal Santa's coat when I get the chance to, since I have my obligations of reviewing Christmas movies. Speaking of my obligations, I should probably get back to my obligation, so we should probably move on to the next movie, where we can answer the question of if Santa can find a girlfriend. I'd imagine anyone that can give anything to a person in the form of a present can find girlfriends pretty easily, but then again, he watches kids when he sleeps, so maybe he has just as hard of a time finding girls as I do. He probably has a harder time because I don't stalk children. This is the Santa Claus 2. This film is about Scott Calvin being Santa, but that starts to fade away once he realizes that his son Charlie is on the naughty list and that he has to find a Mrs. Claus to marry. He has to help his son and find a partner, or else he is no longer Santa Claus, putting Christmas in massive danger. This is the one I grew up watching the most, and it still holds up very well. Tim Allen is a lot more charming here than he was in the last film. The first one was a typical fish out of water story. This time he's actually on a mission which can create funnier scenarios. Our new main character, Carol, is an amazing addition, also adding more depth to the message of the first film by sharing what made her stop believing. Her and Scott are the heart of this story and the emotion behind it. Everyone from the first film came back and they're just as good here as they were in the last film, and some are even given new depth here. Despite this story being focused on the real world, we get to spend a lot more time in the North Pole than we did in the first film. The North Pole got even more beautiful to look at, and we get to actually spend time with characters in this place, learning more about some of these elves, giving them distinct personalities. We get to see more of Bernard here, and our new addition of Curtis, and seeing these two work together bring more comedic moments here. The whole toy Santa taking over the North Pole is a weird side story, but I understand its purpose of giving this film a villain and adding stakes, even though I think the threat of Santa disappearing if he doesn't get married is a high enough stake to carry the film. It brings the fun that the first movie was lacking, while also adding its own heart and emotion, making it a standout sequel. The Santa Claus 2 gets a 4 to 5 plastic versions of Tim Allen. So what have I learned from this film about how to be Santa Claus? I need a girlfriend to make my Mrs. Claus. I have to find a woman that would date me or at least tolerate me long enough to be Mrs. Claus. I don't think I can find a woman that would date me, but I could maybe pull some strings, and by pulling strings, I need to make some phone calls. Hi, yes. So you know about my plan of becoming Santa, right? Well, Santa needs a Mrs. Claus, and I was wondering if I know that you're my therapist, but we have a good relationship. I think this could work out. No, I know our relationship is not like that. And trust me, I don't even think of you that way. I'm not attracted to you. No, it's not like that. I'm not saying that you're not attractive. It's just that I don't think of you that way. Look, I know this is weird, but like I'm desperate and I'm thinking that our good relationship could be used to spread joy just to myself. I know that sounds very weird, but it isn't. I'm telling you. I don't think this is gonna work. Santa can be single, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna accept that to avoid my feelings getting hurt even further. So instead of thinking about how no woman wants to be with me and be my Mrs. Claus and how depressing that is, I'm just gonna move on to the last movie. This is the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. This film is about Santa facing many problems. Mrs. Claus is about to give birth to their first kid, and their families are visiting the North Pole, including Carol's parents, who have no idea that Scott is Santa. Scott also has to deal with a sinister plot by Jack Frost that could no longer make him Santa. I think it's safe to say that this one is the weirdest of the bunch. There's not much new about our returning characters, as nothing really happens to them, so there's not much to say about any of them. Scott learns that he needs to make time for Carol and his family because he's been too busy with work, but he's fucking Santa Claus. I think it's understandable if he's too busy with work around the holidays. The in-laws do provide some fun comedic moments, but don't add much besides that. Martin Short is doing the best he can, and he's the most interesting villain this franchise has ever had, but Jack Frost doesn't have much to do here besides push towards the one goal and making the escape clause happen, which isn't a main focus for most of the movie. The film is juggling two plots, and the one that's the title of the movie isn't really focused on until the very end. Most of the film is Jack Frost trying to make Scott enact the escape clause, but besides that, it's rarely mentioned because we have to focus on Scott not being a good husband because he's Santa Claus, and no one can cut him some slack. Instead of focusing on the title of the movie, this film focuses on a story that doesn't make too much sense in the context of Santa Claus. The escape clause gets a 3 out of 5 fireplaces shaped as Santa's head. So if I don't want anyone stealing the Santa job from me, I just need to avoid snow globes at all costs. That's not an issue for me. Snow globes are scary. They have mysterious liquid in them, and if it breaks, then that liquid and glitter gets all over the place. I don't want to deal with mysterious liquids that's probably just water and glitter. Glitter gets everywhere. One moment you think everything is fine, and then glitter shows up and ruins your day by getting all over your clothes. It's hard to get glitter off clothes while you're wearing the clothes. Now, I know everything I need to do to be Santa. I guess all that's left is to fulfill the obligations of a movie review with more than 2 films being reviewed, which means it's overview time! Overall, these films are fun watches, especially for kids. At their best, they provide sweet messages and fun moments, but at their worst, they provide confusing plots taking away from the main focus. My favorite is the Santa Claus 2 for being entertaining with a beautiful heart surrounding it. My least favorite is the Escape Clause for juggling too many plots because what should have been its main focus played second fiddle to Santa being too busy for everyone around him because he's Santa. Alright, I got everything I need to be Santa and deliver gifts just to myself since only I deserve presents after being mistreated by the real Santa. That's what you get when you put the wrong guy on the naughty list who shouldn't even care if he's on the naughty list because he's too old for Santa. I'm making sure no one gets presents because if I'm going down, Everyone's coming with me. I do have to get the word out, though, that I'm now Santa and delivering presents only to myself. People won't care about it if they don't know about my plan. There wouldn't be a purpose to this if I wasn't getting any attention from it. I also have to actually start hiring people for this operation to be my elves and make the presents that I will deliver to myself. I ain't making or buying all those presents. I need people to make that for me. I don't have the ability to do manual labor. I need other people to do manual labor for me so that I can relax and be Santa. Santa doesn't make any toys. He's just a delivery driver. It's the best job in the world. You know what? I think I got a way to fix both of those problems. I just need to make some phone calls first. The only way to get things done in modern times is through phone calls. I don't make the rules. I just live by them.
It sounds like nice.